That's the difference between the introductions of the beginner and introductions of the topper. What is the core theme of the question? It is electoral reforms, not one nation, one election. Within that also, we have to give preference to one nation, one election. Core suggestion by Ramnath Kovind is, it has suggested 15 amendments, including new Article 81A and amendment of Article 327. Law Commission. The Law Commission in its 117th report has given 3 options. We'll come to the next demand, that is examine. Okay? So examine the need for one nation, one election. Examine the need for the electoral reforms as suggested by various committees with particular reference to the one nation, one election principle. Okay. So what is the demand of this question? Yes. The demand of the question. Always remember, whenever you have to deduce or you have to understand the demand of the question, read the directive that is given. So what is the directive that they have given? What is the directive in this question? Examine. So what is the meaning of examine? Yes. Positives, negatives. What is the weightage for this? What is the weightage? Yes. So for examine, analyze, do you think, do you agree? For do you think, do you agree? We go with 60-40. For examine, analyze, we go with 50-50. So 50% of the pros or the benefits of it and the 50% of the challenges. Okay? So this is the first demand. Next, here also if you read the question, there are 2 themes. One is electoral reforms as suggested by various committees. And second, with special particular reference to one nation, one election principle. That means, what is the core theme? Is it the electoral reform or one nation, one election? No. What is the core theme of the question? Is it electoral reform or one nation, one election? Thus, so the theme is broader. It is electoral reforms. So when you are writing about the electoral reforms, you simply, first point will obviously be with respect to one nation, one election. There you will be writing 3 committees that you know of. Apart from that, you have to provide the recommendations of the other committees as well. Okay? Now, let's structurize this answer. What can be the introduction in this? Yes? Okay. Okay, so you are talking about the contextual introduction, right? Okay. So, yes, so you are talking, your introduction is the panel, Ramnath Kovind panel has recently submitted its report on one nation, one election, right? But isn't that the same demand that they have made? So what will you write in the main body? In the main body, you have to give the reform suggested by various committees. So if you put Ramnath Kovind in the introduction, what will you write in the main body? It will become? No, there are 3 committees with respect to one nation, one election. But if you mention one into introduction itself, okay, then you can't mention it in the main body, and that will lead to the duplication, right? So rather than that, you just provide the definition of one nation, one election. What is the definition of one nation, one election? Yes. Common. Okay. See, everyone know the meaning of the one nation, one election. I just want a better framing. Because that's the difference between the introductions of the beginner and introductions of the topper. Okay, it's the same thing. If you want to, in crude language, it is simultaneous elections of the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. Okay, it is just that your framing needs to be like a topper. Okay, so the beginner level introduction will be, it is the simultaneous elections of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. But the topper level introduction, it is synchronization of Lok Sabha and state assembly elections in order to streamline electoral process and decrease frequency of elections. Okay. Does the meaning change? Yes. Meaning is same, right? But which one is better? Okay. It's just the words. So has been trendy debate in recent times in Indian politics behind election simultaneously. Okay, major electoral reforms. Okay, okay. Is it clear? The introduction part. Okay, it's just the words that you use. Yesterday only I had given the example of Akshat Jain. Right? This. Then what is the next part? Yes. Okay. So this key suggested by various committees. Electoral reforms suggested by committees. Now here we have already identified what is the core theme of the question. It is electoral reforms, not one nation, one election, right? But within that also, we have to give preference to one nation, one election. So first, you give your heading as one nation, one election. And here you mention the committees. So what were the committees? Yes, Ramnath Kovind panel. Yes. What was the major recommendation of it? That is the theme only. The core suggestion by Ramnath Kovind is, it has suggested 15 amendments, including new Article 81A and amendment of Article 327. Okay? 15 amendments, including Article 82A and amending Article 327. Okay. Which other committee is there? With respect to electoral, with respect to one nation, one election? Yes. So it is the Law Commission. Always remember, whenever you are talking about the reforms, be it electoral reforms, be it with respect to parliament, okay, in any question with respect to the polity, okay, wherever you are talking about the reforms, you talk about the Law Commission. Okay, whenever you want to give any recommendation, you stick the name of the Law Commission. So Law Commission, in his 117th report, has given 3 options. Okay? No need to elaborate upon the options. Okay, you simply mention 3 options. The first option being conducting the all elections simultaneously, and that will require the consensus between center and state. Second, conducting 2 elections in 5 years. And third suggestion was clubbing all the elections within a year at a single time. So suppose this year you have the elections of Haryana, of Maharashtra, of Jammu and Kashmir, but the dates are different. So rather than that, whatever elections are there in 2024, you club it together and you conduct it at one single date. These were the 3 suggestions given by Law Commission. What else? Yes. So it was National Commission for Review of Working of Constitution. Yes. What else? As well as ECI also in 1983 had suggested simultaneous elections. And then you come to the other reforms. Then only you will be addressing this part comprehensively. So it's not just, even if they ask you with special reference, then also you have to cover the other aspect of that broader theme. Though your weightage will be lesser compared to the one nation, one election. Here also you mention other 3 committees. Here you have Dinesh Goswami committee. With respect to transparency in political funding. You have Indrajit Gupta committee. It had suggested partial state funding of elections. And third, you have Vora committee. Only 3 are sufficient. So Vora committee, remember this rule. Whenever you are going beyond the demand or addressing the non-core demand, limit your points to 3, even if you have more content to it. Always the fundamental principle of the answer writing is to write what they have asked and not to write what you know. This is the most fundamental principle. So Vora committee has analyzed nexus between politician, bureaucrat and corporate. So these are the 3 reforms. Now we will come to the next demand, that is examine. So examine the need for one nation, one election. So need for one nation, one election. Okay. So which framework will you be following for this? No, you will be writing point wise. But the framework that you will be following? Yes. Positives and what else? No, positive negatives is fine, but you have to generate the dimensions in positives. So, but what is the framework? So remember this framework. It is known as PIE's framework. Pies represent not pastel. So in pastel you won't be having any point with respect to technological or the environmental. So pies represent P for political, I for institutional, E for economic, S for social. So political will also involve governance. Sorry? S for social. Okay. So what will be the point on political? Why there is the political or policy need for one nation, one election? Okay, right. Reducing horse trading. How one nation, one election will reduce horse trading? Horse trading happens after they get elected. One nation, one election is about election itself. So the first is improve governance. As there will be less policy paralysis due to model code of conduct. Yeah. And what will be the result of this? Apart from improved governance, long-term decisions. Okay. What will be the second with respect to political? Yes. Yes. So you can also call it a
reducing the politicization or polarization of
what is the
political situation.
polarization? Yes, that is also so reduced. So that will come into the social again. Okay. So from political perspective, yes, a freebie culture, right? What else you can call it to the freebie culture? The word given by Prime Minister, Revdi culture. Okay. And one more, economic also, but there are other aspects we have. Okay. So the you can use the word political populism. Okay. A reduction in political populism, as there will be less incentive for freebies. Yeah. What are the examples? Never forget the 10-6 formula that we discussed yesterday. We have to give 6 examples, and those also needs to be visualized. So what are the examples of freebies? Free suggest some negative ones. Giving laptop and cycles has the positive implications. Loan waiver, ठीक है? Waiver. ठीक है? Now coming to the economic aspect. Yes. So what will be the economic cost? So reduction in, sorry, PI. I means institutional. So what will be the institutional implications? Yes.
Logistical arrangements can be streamlined for one-service election.
Okay.
Deployment of personnel.
Yes. So it will lead to improved administrative efficiency. Okay. So how will you improve administrative efficiency? You directly give the example 11 million security personnel were deployed during 2024 elections. Okay. Yes, that also. Then, with respect to economics, reduced economic cost. Okay, how will it reduce the economic cost? Yes.
Setting up of electoral infrastructure, resetting of electoral infrastructure.
Yes. So you simply give the data. As per ECI, one nation, one election will cost, they have given this number as 4,500 CR, which is less than, ठीक है, the 2019 Lok Sabha and state elections combined. Yes, reduced election fatigue also is a good keyword. Yes. From economic perspective, what else? From economic perspective, one more. Yes. Reduced use of money power. Right? Use of money power. Okay. So as per, there is one organization, its name is Center for Media Studies. As per CMS, the cost of 2024 elections was 1 lakh crore. Okay. So they have given one very interesting statistics. Okay, according to them, the cost on one electoral, okay, that is one person, has increased from 6 paisa to 46 rupees. So 6 paisa in 1951 to 46 rupees in 2024. Okay. This
Used for conducting election or to give
overall election, everything. Okay. See, administrative expenses are less than 4,500 crore. Okay. One more interesting stat, if you want to put it, before first phase of the election itself, Election Commission has seized around 4,000 crore rupees, which was higher than the entire money seized during 2019 elections. Okay. That. And then the last is the social aspect. So what will be the social impact? Yes, citizen convenience. So rather than citizen convenience, you write greater voter participation or turnout. Greater voter turnout. And this is given by, as per law commission. Because simultaneous election will enhance voter participation as it is convenient for them to vote twice in a single time. Okay? So as per convenient to cast many ballots at once, and this is by law commission. Okay? Now the counter argument, the challenge, because they have given what is the directive? It is examine. Addressing political corruption and repetitive fundraising, yes, that also point you can add. But now we have to limit our points to 6 only. Okay? So the challenges. What are the challenges? Yes.
Regional issues won't be addressed.
Okay. What else?
Questioning the ethos of federalism.
Okay. Okay. So see, difficult to implementation. Okay.
Amendments have to be made.
Okay. Okay.
Also hamper the basic structure of the constitution.
Federalism is the basic structure. Okay. What else? Spikes in requirement of VVPAT and EVM. Yes, that will come into the logistical issue. What else?
The fact will be addressed in the last point, which is greater participation and convenience for many people to select multiple ballots. It will create more confusion among the voters while giving the vote. Like whether
Sir,
the party we are selecting.
from the political parties are also like RGBs.
Okay. So the major challenges, the first here, okay. So the framework that central issues leadership dominating regional issues. Yes. So the framework, simple framework for 90% of your questions. Okay. Always apply this staple framework. Okay. So staple is S for structural, T for technological, A for administrative. ठीक है, and always this fundamental thing you keep in mind, whenever you are highlighting the issues, never miss on the institutional aspect, because ultimately the major issue is with respect to the implementation only, and implementation is done by the institutions. So always cover the aspect of the institutions. ठीक है. So A for administrative, P for political, L for legal, E for economic. Now classify your points. Okay, one, that is the structural. What are the core structural issues? Yes. The structural issue with respect to that is against, so we will cover that in legal. First, it will lead to less accountability. ठीक है. Already we have a prime minister who hasn't taken one single press conference in 10 years. ठीक है. So if one nation, one election happens, ठीक है, probably you will get the what you can say, the promise of not just 15 lakh but 1.5 crore also. ठीक है, because you have to lie only once, then for 5 years you don't have to. ठीक है. So at least जो अभी थोड़ी भी accountability बची है, that also might get reduced. ठीक है. So this as is given by as per, see, when you don't have the source to quote, okay, then the second way you can substantiate your point is by mentioning the scholar. Yeah. So as per Yogendra Yadav, one nation, one election will reduce the voters' ability to hold politicians accountable. ठीक है. Then yes, so this is the core structural issue. Yeah, already we have very less accountability. ठीक है. What else? Yes. Yes. So what will be the technological aspect? It will be related to logistical challenge. ठीक है. Logistical challenge. Example, need for more EVM, VVPAT and totalitarian machines, totalizer machines. Yeah. What will be the administrative issue? Yes.
Companies have bureaucrats.
Okay. What else? See, when you are giving the institutional aspect, manpower crunch, good. Okay. So when you are talking about the institution, covering the issues of the institution, okay, the major issues are related to either the mandate, okay, the administration or the human resource capacity, okay, or its economic autonomy. So with respect to the administrative challenge, you create 2 points from it. One, ECI lacks administrative autonomy. Okay, ECI doesn't have its own staff. Okay. Second, deployment of security forces. Okay. So this is your administrative aspect. Okay. What is the political aspect? Yes.
Aspirations of regional, aspirations of
Yes. Yes. Okay. So rather than aspiration of regional party, we talk about dilution of local issues. Okay. So this is again you mention one committee. Okay. As per the survey of as per what was the organization that I mentioned yesterday? Yeah. Okay. What else? ADR. Okay. As per survey by ADR, people are likely to vote for the same party in case of simultaneous elections. Okay, I don't know whether they have done it or not, but so does evaluator. He also doesn't know. Okay. Then, yes, we have dealt with the political, and this because of the greater dilution of the local issue that may lead to centralization of power. Okay. Then apart from the now comes the legal. What will be the legal issues? Yes. Okay. Constitutional amendments. Example, Article 82, 327. This will require, yes, greater. Okay. What else? Federalism issue will cover separately, but we'll give the other aspect. Yes. So this will require consensus building and political will. And last is the federal issue. In elaboration, simply mention and remember this one formula also. In every question of the polity, at least try to mention one Supreme Court judgment. Okay? So it is a part of basic structure. SC in SR Bommai judgment. One nation, one election dilutes federal principle. Okay? Is it clear? So how many points you have written till now? Issue, is a doubt, would the recording be available? Yes. Single electoral roll will be required for both, yes. Yes. Then our formula, as you have highlighted the challenges or limitations, you have to give the way forward. So what will be the But now as the way forward is not the demand, we will simply give two way forwards, and that too in diagrammatic representation. So what will be the way forward? Yes, always remember one way forward is with respect to the constructive vote of no confidence. Okay, this is German model. Okay, and second is institutional. Okay. Administrative and financial autonomy to ECI. Example, charging the expenditure on Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, that's the best way of ensuring financial autonomy. Financial and administrative autonomy to ECI. Charging expenditure on ठीक है, that, and then the conclusion. So how will you conclude? Ensuring accountability, yes. Phased implementation, yes. Phased implementation also you can suggest. So phased implementation is also suggested by Law Commission. Yes, how will you conclude? Yeah, again, yes. So what is the weightage that you have given to the each demand? So for positive and negative, what is the weightage that you have given? 50-50. That means there are equal number of pros and cons. That means your conclusion has to be balanced. Right? If you follow 70-30, then you take a stance. If you follow 60-40, you take a stance. Okay, but here you have taken 50-50. Okay. So as it involves the federal structure of the constitution, there is need for greater dialogue, discussion and consultation. Or the alternative conclusion that you can write is electoral reform is considered as mother of all reforms. Okay, simply write mother in capitals, give a colon, that's it. Okay, is it clear? How many points you have written? Yes. So what about need and challenges of other electoral reforms? Okay, but that we can't cover it. Okay, we have highlighted that part, covered that part in the first itself. Okay. Soumya is asking, for 2024 election, how do we look at the transparency and unbiasedness of ECI? Okay. If you are honest, then you will accept that there was zero transparency and zero unbiasedness in the conduct of ECI. Okay. But if you are a civil servant, you won't accept it. You won't accept this fact. You will take a balanced stand. Okay, where you will highlight the action taken by the election commission on the ruling party as well.